Hello, everyone, and welcome to this edition of the Marketing Insights Podcast. I'm Shane Hunt, Dean of the College of Business at Idaho State University and Michael C. Rutgers Professor of Marketing. And I'm thrilled to be joined today by my guest from Cisco, Bryan Bedford. Bryan, welcome to the show.
I am honored to be here, my friend. Great. Let's have some fun.
Well, Bryan, let's just start. I always like to start by this. You're one of the new executive perspectives that we feature in our upcoming textbook. Just start by talking a little bit about your career, what you do at Cisco. Cisco's obviously a massive company, a massive brand. Talk a little bit about your role there.
Yeah, so Cisco's a Fortune 20 technology company, really powering the internet that you see today, right? From social media to data centers to connected fan experience to retail. We touch it all and really are the B2B business that powers that. I've had a 25-year career kind of spanning the world of sports and new media and content and broadcast and now sports technology. And I get to do that at Cisco as industry director at Cisco. So I cover retail, hospitality, sports and entertainment, media, content, and so forth. So all the fun, cool industries that we like to talk about, I get to spend every day blessed to do that and get to hang out with some amazing customers. So it's a lot of fun.
Well, Bryan, we talk a lot about sales and marketing. Obviously, you oversee a huge operation there and what it is. Are there any sales and marketing trends that you're seeing right now that you think are particularly impactful or things that you'd want people to know about?
Yeah, I mean, I think the biggest thing is that, sales and marketing need to be like hand in glove. They're not disparate. I literally just got off a call with our field marketing organization, and I was messaging back and forth with our global sponsorship team. Like, I talk to them every day of the week. How we leverage assets, leverage their insights, leverage communications to make us effective in the field and with our customers is certainly impactful. And then from a sales perspective, understanding what you need and empowering your sales team to be effective and utilize those tools, all of that is comprehensive. So to me, they are again, hand in glove, right? You have to have both of them and you have to understand what you need and you have to have a plan and be thoughtful about how you leverage that. And so for us in sales, we are talking to sales. Today, I've already sent a note to work on internal comms on a product release. I've talked to global sponsorship. I've talked to my field marketing organization. That has just happened in the last 2.5 hours. And I have a sales quota and a sales number and literally we have 1,200 sales and staff in our organization in just one segment of Cisco. So can't tell you how important it is and how they are literally they're business partners inside of a company and an organization like ours.
Bryan, why do you think this is something that's fascinating? When I work with a lot of companies, I see a lot of places where it's not hand in glove, right? Why do you think there are so many issues with that relationship at organizations?
Well, it's a good question. I mean, building culture is an important piece of the puzzle. And I've always been I think part of my sports background allows me to think that way. But, I think you've got to have, it starts with just making sure everybody's on the same page and that you have a strategy that everybody could understand. Again, I go back to a call that I had earlier today, which was, hey, I'm going to give you a preview of what we're thinking about. Do you have feedback? And it was, the answer to that was, this is really helpful. Even though it's what you're building is not fully baked, it helps me understand how I can do my job to help you be successful. So I think it starts with communicating, sharing. Not everybody does that. That's part of kind of what has been kind of a tenet of my career, is sharing that kind of information. I think when you do that and you're strategically planning and over communicating, you have the best results. I think if you try to stay in your swim lanes completely without collaborating, you get into some of those spots that you're talking about. The other way to think about it is think of, like, in sales, marketing is internally, right? Marketing is my customer. And inverse, marketing should think about sales as their customer. And if you're thinking about each other as the customer, so to speak, right, as an internal operating model, then you want your customer to be successful, right? And so I want marketing to look like, studs. Like, I want them to look awesome. And they should want me to sell a whole lot of product.
Absolutely.
Right? And so if we have like a shared vision of success, then we're ultimately gonna win for our end customers, and in our case, our partners that sell with us as well. So that's just a mindset thing, and I think if you build that up front and you think through that from a strategic perspective, you're going to have a lot of success down the road.
Bryan, you talked about, I mean, obviously Cisco is one of the leading technology companies in the history of the world. Right now, there are so many changes, right? Whether that be from AI, whether that be from global shifts and demographic shifts and all these things. What's something that you think that a young marketer or a young salesperson listening to this should be really excited about?
Well, I mean, I just think technology in general is just, it always evolves. I mean, I remember, I'll give a kind of a funny, cute story here. When I came to Cisco, the iPhone didn't exist.
Yep.
Right. A high definition television was $4,000. That was 13 years ago. Right. I mean, I can go to Target or Costco or Sam's or any other place.
Yep.
I probably go to 7-Eleven and get a TV for $300 now. Right. I mean, like, it's become a commodity. So I just think in general, like, technology is now part of, it's a societal element that interacts everything that we do. You may not think about it, but, a lot of people think, I've heard people say, that company X does whatever, distribution or manufacturing, but really they're ultimately becoming a technology company. Like, you hear that now, where all of these companies, like, they have to be thinking about technology in every single thing that they do. And so what that does is, if I'm a young person, is that's a career path that I can be in for 20, 30, 40 years of my life. Yeah. Right. Because if you learn to adapt and evolve and think about it, and are able to be nimble, right, as things change, right, you can have long-term sustained career. It's not an area that, is going to go away.
Yeah.
Now the technology may change, right? God bless our friends at BlackBerry. Like, the technology sometimes changes.
Yeah.
Right. And I mean, we love that little spin wheel on that phone, right? That thing was awesome. But, technology, the technology changed, but technology didn't change, right? Like,
no.
We're getting more sophisticated. We're getting more predictable. AI and machine learning has really been around for a while,
yep.
But we're getting more advanced. That's going to introduce new ideas, new concepts, new intelligence. And so I just think in general, like, it's an exciting career to be in. It also allows you to marry technology with your passion. Like, you might be really interested in music. Okay. Back when we were in high school, it was like, let's go figure out how to, break into Napster, or something like that. But, and so I just think, or if you're really into healthcare, okay, how can you transform healthcare with technology? Or if you're really into automotives, there's a guy named Elon Musk. He's done a couple of things, right? Like, you can take passions and apply those with technology and always be inventing new things in new areas. So I love it because I've been blessed that, for almost 25 years, I've been able to stitch my passion around hospitality, retail, sports, media, and tie it to technology. I didn't know that was going to be exactly how it worked. I knew that I wanted to be attached to my passion, and I've used technology as the vehicle to continue to do that.
No, Bryan, that's amazing, my friend. And the last question, I heard you speak to a group of marketing students. We have a lot of marketing students across the country that listen to this podcast. My final question is, just what advice would you have for them as marketing students in universities and colleges across the country? What advice would you have for them?
Yeah, well, I'll repeat what I told your class, which is become a really good writer. I just really believe that writing, you need to learn to write and not send memes and emojis. Like, I love emojis and I love a really good meme, but, like, we got to communicate. And, like, the people that are the generation above you or the generation above that, you need to learn how to write. So writing, I think, is critical. It's critical. It allows you to be a really good communicator. And I think just communication in general is really important, right? And so if you can become a good writer, then you can become a good auditory speaker, then you can become a good communicator. You can shake a firm hand, you can have eye contact. Those are all things that I think in, the kids that are, 15 to 25, that's not as comfortable because you're used to having a phone in your hand. And so becoming a good communicator, start with the written word first and then become good. Don't let mom and dad, order your chicken McNuggets. Like, learn how to become a good communicator. Those are really critical things. They help you. Don't be afraid of selling. Learn how to sell. Learn how to make mistakes in selling. It's okay. Work hard. Volunteer. To internships. Don't think you know it all.
Yep.
Find a mentor. Ask a lot of questions. And then work really freaking hard.
And I think, Bryan, that is a wonderful formula for success, my friend. And I thank you so much, Bryan. Thank you for joining us today on the show.
Love it. Thanks, brother.
Hey, thank you so much. And thank you all for listening to this edition of the Marketing Insights Podcast. We look forward to visiting next time. Hope everybody has a great day, and we'll talk to you soon.